Welcome back to the budget series. Today is day 2. We are going to plan your budget by paycheck because doing it by month, it's just not good enough. It's the baseline, but you really need to know what you have to spend each paycheck, unless you get paid once a month. The only reason you need to only do or even do a monthly overview planning, which is all a budget is if you get paid monthly. And, if you want to just kind of see the overall amounts for the month, great. But the most important part is planning by paycheck. And I'm going to explain that to you today. Usually, this takes me about an hour. I've already loaded some things into my whiteboard so that I don't have to spend as much time doing that. So, hopefully, we can get it under 45 minutes today, but we shall see. Now, keep in mind, if you are listening on the Money Mindset podcast, you can go to YouTube to see what I'm actually doing, but I'm going to explain it step by step as best as I can. But, for some of these things, it's just great to have a visual. So go to YouTube, Budgets Made Easy. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you like this video so that it gets out to more people. And of course, leave me a comment. Just say hi or that you watched it. I love to see who is watching the videos. Let me know if you get something out of this lesson. Also, for this week during the budget series, you can save $10 off of the planner and or the spreadsheet. You can use it on both. You can use it for both if you want. You can go to budgetsmadeeasy.com/planner or budgetsmadeeasy.com/spreadsheet. Use code BS10. That coupon code is only valid until Sunday, May 28th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern time. So you've got a few days. I'm giving you the discounts like 30% off. Normally, each of those are $29 a piece. You can get them for $19 a piece this week only. Now, keep in mind, these will be updated later and they will be back to full price. So let's dive in. All right, let me get my whiteboard up here that already has the numbers in it. So let me make this bigger. Okay, hopefully you can see that. Let me remember how to use this. How do I move it over? Okay, what? Uh-oh. Okay, I cannot remember how to move the whiteboard. Oh, well, it's okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, I figured it out. Okay, this is different than Canva. I've been using Canva's whiteboard, but here, this was already here on Zoom. So I decided to reuse it so I didn't have to type in everything. So this is just the monthly overview, right? So day 1, we talked about where you're at now and planning until your next paycheck. Now we need to start planning your paychecks through the month. Now, if you get paid weekly, or if you and your partner, if you're sharing your finances together, if you get paid every week, or one's paid weekly, one's bi-weekly or fortnightly for those of you on the other side of the world, just do weekly. You don't need to do more than one budget a week. Don't make it overly complicated for yourself. So at the most, do one weekly. If you both get paid the same week, put it together. If you get paid every week, now you can separate it out if you choose to, but don't overthink it, okay? Don't overthink it. Don't try and make it too complicated. Make it as simple as possible, but figure out what works for you. So if it makes more sense for you to plan out weekly paychecks for whoever gets paid weekly, and then if somebody else gets paid bi-weekly, doing it that way, you figure out what works for you, right? But I would really encourage you not to do more than one a week, because most months that's 4 and some months that's 5. So just try not to make it overly complicated. Okay, so here's an example that I've done before. So the income, and this is the monthly overview, and then I'm going to show you how to break it down by paycheck. So the income of 5,000, we list the fixed expenses. So this is your mortgage or your rent, your internet, your cell phone, TV, car payment, car insurance, life insurance, power, water, credit cards, any debt, car payments, things like that, things that you need to pay every single month. Okay. And for this example, and of course, I realize that you probably have way more bills than this, but this is just for a quick example. So for mortgage, I put 1,500. For those of you listening, I'll go ahead and read the numbers. So income of 5,000, fixed expenses, mortgage 1,500, internet 70, cell phone 240, TV 130, car payment 400, car insurance 100, life insurance 50, power bill 300, water bill 100, credit card 50, credit card 75. Okay, so that left 1985 for the month. Now we want to work on our variable expenses. So variable means it can change. This is going to be your food and gas. You don't know, necessarily what that will look like. Okay. Miscellaneous, $50. That leaves us $1,135. Okay. Now, what is left goes towards savings or debt or both, depending on what your focus is right now. And a lot of these will be sinking funds, which we are going to talk about in another video. And I can't remember if it's video 3 or 4, but it is coming up this week. It might be tomorrow, actually. I got to think about that. So I don't remember which day was next, but we will be talking about this because that is kind of the next step. So probably tomorrow. All right. So now this over here is kind of what I talked about in day 1. So this is what we're doing moving forward. Okay. So let me figure out, how do I add text again? Text, draw, shape, line, text. There it is. Okay. Okay, so we are going to say, all right, so we've already done until the next paycheck, which let's just say is May 26th, which is this Friday at the time of recording. So I'm going to put May 26th. Okay. Now, what we're going to do, actually, let me add another text box, because what we're also going to do, let's move this over because that was day 1. So let's put this right there. Okay, so another text box, because in June, so let's just say you get paid biweekly. So the next paycheck is 26. So day 1, we kind of figured out what we're paying until Friday. Now we need to plan for the 26th, and then the next paycheck will be June 9th. It kind of helps just to kind of look at all the next, like the rest of 1 month and then all of the next month. All right, so June 23rd. All right, so it does look like if you get paid bi-weekly, some of you will have an extra paycheck in June, but for this example, they do not. But there is 5 Fridays and 5 Thursdays in June. So some of you will have an extra paycheck if you get paid bi-weekly in June. Okay, so let's see what we've got here. So May 26th, so the end of this month, you may need to pay half of the mortgage if you haven't finished paying that. Let's see, let's say the internet bill, which is $70. Okay, let's say cell phone, $240. Car insurance of, what did I say, $100. All right, I'm going to try and move my keyboard so I don't have to move so far away from the mic, because that's probably making it change for those of you listening. Okay, so let's say for May 26th, let's see, paycheck is, let's see, I said 5,000, so we'll just say 2,500. And that's what we'll say per paycheck. So we still have quite a bit left for this paycheck. Okay, so let's say we need food. And usually what I do is take the monthly amount that we want for food and then divide it by the paychecks or divide it by week. Let's see. So get food would be 300 because we said 600 for the month. So half of that, 300. Gas was 200 for the month. So we're going to say 100. And then we had miscellaneous at $50 a month. And I'm just going to say 25 for right now. Okay, let's see. 4, 500, 7, 40, 8, 10. So we still have quite a bit of money left over. So let's pay some more bills because I don't know. See, I'm just making this up. So we kind of need to know the due dates. Maybe I should have added the due dates in there to kind of help explain this a little bit more as well. Okay. Gas. Let's see. Let's do car payment. 400. And I am going to show you how to kind of decide this as well. All right. So let's say water 100. Okay. So let's see what we've got left here. All right, let's do I usually do the total and then I'll do what's left just so I can double check my math. Like if there ends up being a mathematical error, it makes it a little bit easier to find. Oh, my phone is messing up. I don't know if I'm going to be able to use the calculator. I may have to pull it up on my computer. Okay, so we said out of this paycheck, we said 70 for the internet, 240 for phone, car insurance, 100, food, 300, gas, 100, car payment, 400, water bill, 100, miscellaneous, 25. Okay, so that puts a total of $1,235. Okay, now let's do 2,500 minus 1,235. That leaves 1,265. Okay, so for now, that's where we're going to stop for this paycheck. Now, when we talk about sinking funds and planning the rest of it, we will do that in another day. And I probably should have looked it up. I can't remember. It should be tomorrow. I can't remember if it's which day it is because today's only day 2, but I do know I talk about it. Okay, so that's just finishing out this month. So now let's kind of look at June and plan out June because this will make a lot more sense. All right, so the easiest way to kind of decide how to decide which bills you're going to pay from which paycheck is by looking at the due dates, printing off just a blank calendar, and highlighting like the due dates and the pay periods, and then trying to get ahead a little bit. So before I do that, let me pause and pull up a calendar for you so you can visually see what I'm talking about. I'll be right back. All right. I have pulled up a free calendar that I use all the time. I'm going to try and share my screen here. Okay. All right. Give me 1 second because it looks like I can type on this. So this is going to be pay day number 1. And this is going to be pay day number 2. Okay. Now I am going to hold the whiteboard closed. Okay. So I've got to just try and remember what is due when. Okay, so we're going to say the mortgage is due on the 1st. Let's say car insurance is on the 13th. Let's say the car payment. Let's see, what else did we pay? We paid the water bill. Let's see, let's say power bill. Let's see, credit card number 1. Credit card number 2 on the 20th, credit card number 1 on the 26th, the power bill and water bill on the 5th, car payment on the 7th. What else did I have? Phone bill. So let's just say phone bill, internet bill. I'm putting those both on the 29th. Life insurance. Let's put life insurance on the 25th. And I know there was more there, but I can't look at both. Zoom's not letting me share the screen and have the whiteboard pulled up. So now I can't highlight on here. Let's see if I can. Well, I kind of can. I can't really, but okay. So payday number 1 is on the 9th. Payday number 2 is on the 24th. 3rd. Now, the goal of budgeting by paycheck, how I teach it, how I'm going to explain it here to you, is to get ahead where you're paying the bills that you want to pay with the first paycheck are going to be after the 15th. That way, if you get paid biweekly, there are going to be some months that you may not get your first paycheck till the 14th. And if you're paying, let's say, your car payment, which is due on the 7th, on your out of your first paycheck of the month, you're going to be late sometimes. We don't want that. So what we're going to do is all the bills due from the 15th through the end of the month. Now, the end of the month can vary. It's not as important as the 15th, starting with the 15th. So the 15th through the end of the month is going to be paid with payday number 1. Okay. So you're getting anywhere from a couple days to 2 weeks ahead on some of your bills. So for this example, the payday on the 9th, we want to pay the credit card number 2 for the 20th, the life insurance on the 25th, the credit card number 1 on the 26th, the phone bill and the internet bill. We will see how that works out. Now with the mortgage, for this, we may want to split it in 2 and pay half payday 1, half payday 2, and it'll be for July 1st. Okay, now for payday number 2, we're going to pay bills that are due at the very, very end of the month if you need to, and the bills due from the 1st to the 14th. So that's the mortgage. But like I said, we may want to split the mortgage up in 2 just to make it more manageable. The water bill, the power bill that are due on the 5th, the car payment on the 7th, and the car insurance on the 13th. Now, I realize that you probably have more bills than this. This is just a simplified example, but when you lay it out on the calendar, it is way easier for you to visually see which bills to pay when. Okay, so payday number 1, I'm going to highlight here the 9th. We're going to pay the 15th through the 29th. Now, these 2 bills on the 29th, we may need to split up. We'll just see what the math says. And then payday number 2, it could pay one of these bills, but it's going to pay for July, because this is June 23rd. So for July 1st through 14th. And those are the bills that we're going to pay. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that I can pull the whiteboard back up, but I am going to move it so I can see it. I know you won't be able to see it at the same time as I am, but let me get the whiteboard pulled back up. Let's see, I'm pretty sure it's this one. Let's see here. Yes, it is. Okay, so for June, all right, let's move this over a little bit. Okay, so let's see. Oh, we have the TV bill that we didn't put on there. Okay, so let me get text box again. All right, so let's go ahead and lay out some of this. All right, so the mortgage, let's split it up. It's $1,500, so let's just say it's $750 a payday. Okay, so we're just going to put that on both. Whoops, can't spell. So that's $750 for both. All right, let me get these lined up here. Okay. All right, so now for this example, I know you can't see my other screen. It won't let me show both. So for June 9th, we are going to pay credit card number 2. Number 2, which was how much? We'll say $75. We also need to pay life insurance. Okay, which was $50. Okay. We also need to pay credit card number 1, which was $50. Oh, and now I can't see because the text box. Okay, there we go. Credit card number 1. All right, let's see. We're going to do the phone bill for now. We'll see how it works out. And there's a couple things that I didn't put on the calendar since I didn't have it pulled up. I couldn't remember what all we were adding here. All right, how much was the phone bill? Where is it? $240. Okay. And the internet bill, $70. And let's go ahead and add the TV there. Well, I need to do the math, of course. So when you're first doing this, you may have to move some things around as you figure out like the totals. Okay. So let's go ahead and do, oh wait, hold on. All right. before I move on, let's do food, 300, gas, 100, and miscellaneous, 25 for now. Okay, now let's go to the second paycheck based on our calendar. We have the mortgage, half of the mortgage. Let's do the water bill, which was 100. We've got the power bill, 300. Car payment, which was 400. Oh, I think that is everything except for the TV bill. All right, hold on. Move. Okay, so I think that's actually I think that is all of our fixed expenses. Okay, so let me add food and gas to this other one. Oh, and miscellaneous. Food 300, gas 100, miscellaneous 25. Okay. And I did not spell that right. Okay. All right. Now I've got to do the math here. And this is where we see if this is going to work because we may have to move some things around. And I'll talk about that if it, in just a second. Okay. Now let's see if my calculator on my phone is going to work. No, it's not. Stop. My new phone is going to be here in a couple of days. So let's hope we can get through this. Because the screen is shattered, so it thinks I'm pressing all over the screen. So it's doing wild stuff. Okay. So hopefully this math is right because it could be pressing buttons when I'm looking up. Okay. So I'm doing the math, plus 25. Okay. All right. So this first one, first paycheck total is $17.45. So we have quite a bit left out of that one. All right. All right, so let's do the second paycheck and see where we're at, see if we need to move anything around, but I don't think we're going to have to. All right, 750, 100, 300, 400, 300. No, stop. Don't. Oh, I don't know if this math is actually correct because it's my phone. Okay, let me hold on. I got to pull up. I will pull up the calculator because it was hitting buttons that it wasn't hitting. So I don't think that math was right. Okay. Okay. So let's. Oh, all right. 750 plus 100 plus 300 plus 400 plus 300 plus 100 plus 25 is 1925. All right. So we've got money left out of each paycheck. All right. So let me get the calculator up again so we can figure out how much is left, but it doesn't look like we need to move any bills around for this example. All right. So 2,500 minus 1,745 leaves us $755 out of the first paycheck. Okay, now the second paycheck, 2,500 minus 1,925 should be 575. All right, now, as long as our math is right, that's what we got. All right, so this is where the magic happens. Now, if you're anything like me, this is where you might stop. So this is where I used to stop when it came to my budgeting. I always budgeted by paycheck. I would write down how much we expected to get paid, what bills I was paying out of that, how much for food and gas, but that's where I stopped. And I didn't even track the food and gas. It was just an estimate, right? And then I never looked at it. So I would just see this, oh, we have $700 to spend, or we have $575 to spend. So, and then we spent it, right? But we have all these other things that we're going to talk about in another video, like Christmas, birthdays, vacation, other things that we need to save for through the year. But this is quite a bit left over still, right? So this is where you save. This is where you start paying off debt. So as an example here, you may say sinking funds, which, like I said, we'll talk about that in another video. So sinking funds, let's just say, is 300 for paycheck number one, which leaves us 455, just so I can make the math right. So we're actually going to send to debt, and you'll want to identify which debt. So let's say credit card number one is going to be 455. Now, That leaves us with $0 left. Okay. But don't freak out. You're not going to actually take your bank account down to zero, right? You've got this 300 in sinking funds, which one could be, you could consider that a buffer. You have your $25 miscellaneous fund. You could also add in buffer just so that you like whatever amount you want to make sure is left in your checking account could be $100. And then we would just move this to 355. And then once you have that $100 in there, it just carries over, right? So you're not actually taking your bank account down to zero. Now here you've got 300 into your sinking funds as an example. And like I said, I'll explain that in another video because that'll take me a while to explain as well. But what you can do is you've got that here. So over on your second paycheck where there's 575 left, you could send that straight to debt. Okay. And look at that. You've got almost over $900 that you could send toward that credit card. And that, that could pay it off, whatever the balance is, right? So let me know in the comments if this makes sense to you. If you're listening on the podcast, jump over to the free Facebook group and let me know if this makes sense. If you need any clarification, we will talk more about planning for the sinking funds and stuff in another video, but this is how you get started. Now, this is just the beginning, right? This is the first rendition of this. Now, for July, all you're going to have to do is copy over the paycheck 1, paycheck 2. You're going to pay the same bills out of the same paycheck every single month. You don't have to think about it. After you've done this part, you've set it up the way you want to pay your bills and it works for you. Now, it may take a little bit of time for it to work for you because you may need to pay some bills twice in a month to get it on the schedule that you need to get it on. But once you do, it's the same every single month. If you set it up in a way that the bills that are due for after the 15th are paid out of the first paycheck. And then the bills at the beginning of the month are paid from the second paycheck of the previous month. So again, it may take you a month or two to get on this schedule, and that is okay. That's perfectly normal. Don't worry if you're like, I can't do that this month. It's okay. It's just a goal to get there so that you don't have to think about it. Now, the other things like after what is left, that may change month to month. So you still have to do a little bit of planning, but the bulk of it, the foundational stuff, the fixed expenses are going to be the same every month. So once you do it once, you're good to go. You don't have to worry about it as much. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close this screen. All right, don't forget the budget series is going on all week. And you do save if you want to start with pen and paper, the budget planner, it's printable, or you can use it digitally with like Apple Notes or a note-taking app like GoodNotes. There's like a bunch of them out there, but you can use it digitally as well because it's just a PDF. Or the spreadsheet, you save like 30% this week until Sunday night at midnight, and you'll be able to save $10 off of either one of those or both. You can get both of them if you want. Just let me know if you have any questions, and I will be checking the comments and see. I will be more than happy to clarify. And if you have a question that maybe it's something that I completely forgot about when I was recording this. Since I'm not recording it live, I don't have the questions coming in real time. I can answer it in the next video when I build out the sinking funds. So when we talk about savings and sinking funds and what to do with the money that is left over, I know I kind of touched on it in this video, but I'm going to go more in depth on that in another video. So please make sure that you're following along so that you can get the rest of the budget series, and I will talk to you tomorrow.